morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we're going to be taking a look at an Empoleon deck, which is actually gone and done a win over in Japan. I am unashamedly, unabashedly in love with Empoleon. Empoleon is one of my very favourite Pokemon, has been right since Gen 4. I love me some Empoleon. One of the tables at my wedding was themed after Piplup, because I love Empoleon so gosh darn much. And this new one looks really good, but is it actually good enough? Well, somebody seems to think it's good enough. So let's have a gander, shall we? Now, the weird thing is, the Empoleon in and of itself is fine, but slightly underwhelming. What you do for a single colourless energy is choose an attack from one of your previous evolutions and use it as this attack. That's it. That's just what it does. So, in and of itself, it's not particularly exciting, but when combined with the pre-evolutions, it most certainly is. Now, there is another attack here, 2 energy, 130, which is actually 10 damage short of getting a Reshiram and Charizard, which is slightly upsetting, but there's plenty of ways around that. You could always play Shrine of Punishment if you really wanted to, and there's other things that we can do. Certainly against weaker stuff like Blacephalon, you'll be absolutely fine. But it is the pre-evolutions we're really worried about here, and the best one of them is Piplup. Piplup for free water energy has Bubble Hold, 80 damage. If the defending Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, it cannot attack during your opponent's next turn. So you basically stop your opponent's basic Pokemon attacking. Now, of course, they can switch around and find a new Pokemon, and if they do, they do. But that is really quite fantastic. We like this. And then we got Prinplup, that for free water energy, you discard all energy from this Pokemon and do 100 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Really good for taking out bench Pokemon, though quite expensive. And the thing is that both Piplup and Prinplup are very expensive, but we don't care. And the reason we don't care is because Empoleon does it for a single colourless energy. As soon as you get one single colourless energy on there, you are absolutely good to go just using either of these attacks. Because Recall doesn't say if you've got the right amount of energy, you just choose an attack in your previous evolutions and use it. So even though Piplup and Prinplup might use free water energy, Empoleon copies them for one colourless energy, while also having a decent attack of its own, and that really is the basis of the deck. Single energy, single prize Pokemon, and even though it's a stage 2 and being a stage 2 sucks, the fact that you're a single prize Pokemon that attacks for a single energy really does make a rather gigantic difference. Now, we do need to get the Empoleon up and rolling, and if we look at other Pokemon that this deck plays, really chief among them is the Fairy-type Alolan Ninetales, the second one. And this does a bunch of stuff, and it's got some useful attacks, but really here, we're focused on the ability. When you evolve up into Ninetales, you get to search your deck for 2 item cards and put them into your hand. And one of them's going to be Rare Candy, and the other one is probably something with which to search out an Empoleon. And now all of a sudden, you're actually getting rolling. The goal here is to get your Empoleon. Empoleon's got 160 HP. Empoleon gives up a single prize. Empoleon attacks for a single energy. This is great once you've got Empoleon rolling. And Alolan Ninetales and the ability really helps. Now, to be fair, I love the GX attack, 1 fairy, 1 colourless energy, instant KO on an Ultra Beast, and we've seen lately that there are some Ultra Beasts out there, chief among them probably Guzzlord and Naganadel, which is actually starting to see a little bit of hype and quite a bit of play, plus the aforementioned Blacephalon, but that really shouldn't be an issue given the whole you're one-hit KOing it super easily anyway. So it's really nice that you've got an option there for that. Now, in terms of other Pokemon, we actually see the new Silvally. And the new Silvally here is largely rolling along for the ability. The new Silvally lets you draw until you've got 5 cards in your hand. It's really, really nice. It's harsh having a 2-prize Pokemon on the bench, but then again, your Empoleon's really good. So if your opponent's using their, Great Catcher, for instance, to try and gust your Pokemon off the bench and KO them, they're not taking out the Empoleon, which means that you've got more time to get the new Empoleon. And when you've got a Stage 2 deck like this, the way you beat it isn't by taking out the 2-prize Pokemon on the bench, it's by running them out of the Stage 2, leaving them with no options, and then taking out the 2-prize Pokemon on the bench to clear out the game. Now, there is an attack that does 120 if you've played a supporter this turn, and to be fair, we've also got Silver Knight GX. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an Ultra Beast, it is knocked out. Yeah, weirdly, it's the exact same attack as a Alolan Ninetales has, which is kind of cool if you think about it. I like this a lot. Now, this list I'm showing you does also play Tapu Koko to do some spreading, but it's not the biggest part of the deck. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Now, in terms of energy, there are a few little tricks here. We do want to play a copy of Fairy Energy, purely so that we can attack with Alolan Ninetales. And one thing you can do really nicely here is actually play Energy Spinner, which acts as an energy search, and then you can search it out using Alolan Ninetales, which is very, very nice indeed. The other thing we've got here is Recycle Energy, and Recycle Energy is great. It is a single colourless energy, and if it would be discarded from play, you put it into your hand and it actually doesn't get discarded. It's really rather nice. And remember that Empoleon's attack costs 1 colourless energy. So what you do here very nicely is you just put this on your Empoleon gets KO'd, you get the energy back. As soon as you draw into one of these, you should be pretty much ready for the rest of the game. Now, the particular list I'm showing you here does actually play double colourless energy, but you don't need double colourless energy. Triple acceleration energy will work just fine indeed. Yes, I know it falls off at the end of your turn, but if you attack with Prinplup, it falls off. And if you use Empoleon's main attack, it falls off. And Empoleon's single energy attack, you're using Recycle Energy. So the only one you ever really feel the difference for is Silvally, which you're playing as a 1-1 line of anyway, so I'm really not terribly worried about it. Triple Acceleration Energy will do just fine. Now, in terms of trainer cards here, you've got all the usual stuff that we expect. Obviously, being a Stage 2 deck, you need to play a bit of the old rare candy. We're playing Cynthia, which is the best draw card in the game. We've got 1 Lieutenant Surge's strategy for those explosive turns playing 2 supporters. We play a reset stamp because every deck plays a reset stamp, etc. There's a lot of standard stuff going on here. But there's also some really nice tricks. So when I mentioned energy, I didn't mention that we're actually playing a few fighting energy. Why are we playing fighting energy? So that we can play Martial Arts Dojo. Bearing in mind you can search it out using Energy Spinner. If you're not behind on prizes, you do an extra 10 damage. If you are behind on prizes, you do an extra 40 damage. And of course, let's not forget that you're attacking for a single colourless energy. It doesn't matter what energy you use. Although Recycle Energy is really good because it keeps coming back to your hand. We also see Rosa here, and Rosa is brilliant. Rosa, if you had a Pokemon KO during your opponent's previous turn, allows you to search your deck for a Pokemon, a trainer card, and a basic energy. So, a rare candy, and an Empoleon, and a fighting energy. Oh yeah, look how that worked out. Rosa here is brilliant. We do see Erica's Hospitality as a little bit of draw power. We do see Lily as a little bit of extra draw power. But they're just there as kind of one-offs. We all know that those cards can, at the right time, end up being really good. But they're not our focus here. In terms of recovery, we're playing Lana's Fishing Rod, which gets back a Pokemon tool as well as a Pokemon. And we do actually see Adventure Bag here, which is really very cool. And the reason for this is we've actually got a couple of different tools. We've got U-Turn Board, which gives some really nice retreating for your Pokemon. Retreats one of your Pokemon reduces it by 1, but it also bounces back to your hand if it gets discarded, not unlike Recycle Energy. But then we see Counter Gain here, and I adore Counter Gain. Counter Gain does multiple things. Firstly, it reduces the attack cost of your Pokemon by 1 colourless energy if you're behind on prizes. But it's also searchable with Alolan Ninetales, and it will make either Silvallai's attack, or Empoleon's proper attack, or Alolan Ninetales' GX attack, will make all of them a single energy attack. So you evolve up, and of course remember you've got Energy Spinner as well, so you can evolve up into an Alolan Ninetales, grab yourself a Counter Gain and an Energy Spinner to get an energy right after a KO, and get a beautiful surprise KO on any Ultra Beast. It's not the first time we've ever seen this in a deck, but it is a really fun thing to do and a really good way of actually rolling here. And I'm a little bit colorblind, but I believe there is one memory card that we're actually playing here for Silvallai, and it is Fighting Memory. Fighting Memory will turn your Silvallai into a fighting type, and basically it lets you get a one-hit KO on Pikachu and Zekrom, which being a lightning type is not great for Empoleon. You've got 160 HP, but because of the weakness they will get a one-hit KO. This will stop them doing so, which is rather nice indeed. We like this. And actually, if you've got Martial Arts Dojo and a Fighting Energy attached, you will also get Raichu and a Alolan Raichu, even if you're not behind on prizes, which can make a difference. Also good against opposing Silvallai GX. There are a couple of issues as we bring this list from Japan over here. The only real issues are Pokemon Search. We are losing Ultra Ball and Nespal as our every deck, and we're losing Brooklet Hill. Now, to be fair, the deck only plays 2 Nespal, 2 Ultra Ball, and 1 Brooklet Hill, and we do have Rosa. And we're playing quite a few Pokemon, so we can play Pokemon Communication here, and there's nothing to stop us playing something like Professor Round's Lecture in the early game, because the Piplup that we really want is a 60 HP Pokemon. So it sucks a little bit, but I really don't think it's a deck-killing thing. And if it is a deck-killing thing, don't worry about it. We got good Pokemon Search cards coming in Sword and Shield. I adore this new Empoleon. I want this deck to work. And now we've got a really good starting point from which we can work. I just really hope this is as good as I hope it is. I don't even care that sentence didn't really make sense. I want to know what you think about this deck, ladies and gentlemen, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WasiPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.